Hi, everyone. Today is August 14th, 2020, and this is the monthly Longhorn Community meeting and office hour, and this is Sheng Yang. So for today's meeting, we have a few items on the agenda. Let me share my screen. All right. So first thing we want to talk about is the upcoming 1.0.2 release. So in fact, the 1.0.2 release, as you can see, we just cut the RC2 yesterday, and we're about to release it today. I think most issue has been validated. There's a few issues that become the reason we want to release this new release. It's because that we found an issue when we're doing the performance and scalability test, which I'm going to mention later. And also, there's add-on as the product security policy support, and we want to add and get to the customers, get to the users as soon as possible. All right, so that's all for the 102 release, and we should like release it by like end of today, and just in time for the KubeCon next week. All right. The next thing I want to talk about is the performance and the scalability report. So in fact, it's the first blog we had put on the Longhorn's blog. And this gives us an overview of what's the Longhorn performance standing at this point, and also about what's the scalability from scalability point, how Longhorn is doing. So as you can see at the benchmark side, on the performance side, for the bandwidth, in fact, Longhorn can provide a better equivalent or better performance compared to the native disk, because in the case of which is like 3 replicas, we do have more replica to read from compared to the read disk. So we can provide like 1.5 to more than 2 times performance compared to the native. But when we are talking about the I/O and the latency part, we still have a lot of room to improve. So currently, as you can see that the I/O ops we provide is about 1/4 to like 25% to 30% of the native device. And in fact, it doesn't vary so that much compared to between the like 1 replica and the 3 replicas. And also we can see that, in fact, the I/O ops is a result of the latency we did, the latency in the Longhorn stack. As you can see that we are introduced about 400 to 500 microseconds per I/O ops on the top of the native performance. So that is something we definitely want to improve. But another reason for the lower I/O ops is because Longhorn is designed to be crash consistent. So every time when we do when we write the data to the disk, we are going to wait for that data to be confirmed that it has been written to the disk before we continue. So that's one of the reasons like Longhorn currently provides lower I/O ops. But of course, there's still many places we can improve on the I/O ops side. On the scalability test, the result is we have tried to scale to 1,000 pod with volumes on a 100 node cluster. So up to the 950 pods and 950 volumes, of course. And we are basically our scalability is pretty linear, and as you can see that, yeah. So the first part of this curve, in fact, is pretty linear, and also we only took like 1,500 seconds to spin up like 950 pods and volumes, right? That is basically a little bit less than 2 seconds per pod. Of course, the pod was scaled like in parallel. But for the last 50 pod of 1,000 pod, there's a significant increase at the time span to spin them on. And we're still investigating if this is because of like Kubernetes or it's because of like Longhorn. Because previously we cannot reliably scale across 200 volumes because of some Kubernetes issues in the old version. In fact, it's not that old. As you can see that, so the issue was just fixed in the 1.17.8 or 1.18.5. I think it's about fixed like 1 month ago. So that's one part of the issue that we didn't do this in the previous release, but now we figure out, okay, Kubernetes fixed those. So now we can try again and see what the scalability looks like. So for the last part, we're still unable to decide what's the issue is caused by Longhorn or is caused by the Kubernetes at this moment. But we'll continue investigating on that. The second part, in fact, is the reason we released the 102 release. We found that in the 1.101 release, there's Longhorn issues can block the installation process, and they will likely occur when you have cluster more than 20 nodes. So we put together a workaround and also release a fix for the 102 release, and that is going to go out by the end of today. All right. So one last thing regarding the Longhorn this week is, in fact, we have spent a lot of effort preparing for the upcoming KubeCon next week. And Longhorn will, as a CNCF project, will participate in the KubeCon. And you can find us as the list of the project booths. And there's a bunch of swags and we prepare for the users. And also we are going to have Longhorn team members staff the booths for the whole duration of the KubeCon. So if you take the survey, every day we are going to draw 10 winners from the survey responder to send them a Longhorn t-shirt. And also we are going to have 2 office hours scheduled during the KubeCon, as well as 1 session during the KubeCon as well. So more details will upcome. I'll post more details in a blog post of Longhorn today. All right, so that's all I want to cover today. Any questions? All right, okay, so thank you everyone. See you next week.